Hey guys, I'm building a new project, and I actually thought this might be interesting to some people. It's not really a build video. I want to show you some of the stuff I'm doing, and I figured that this build is very much like any build, so it has the same components and everything. So let me first show you what it is, and then let's do a fast forwarding of the build. So I want to build a mini. This is a 130 millimeter, I think it's called Puffin frame. So it's 1 millimeter, it's very thin, and normally you would put, well, people put anything on basically, but normally you would put something like a 6 or 12 amp ESC on. I've gone a different route, so I'm actually going to be putting 24 amp KISS ESCs on, along with a KISS FC. So to my knowledge, this is going to be the the most powerful, probably, mini quad around. Of course, this has some issues. So let me first actually show you what is going to be put inside this and how I want to solve the different things, and then let's actually see some of the stuff. So, right, so this is the actual frame. Excuse the mess, but everything is exactly where I like it. Well, not really, but you know. So the issue is we have the motors right here. These are 1306 motors, 3100 kilowatts, or well, kVs. Sorry, not kilowatts. That would be insane. So what I want to do is I want to put the ESC on, and as you can see, there is not actually. Let's demonstrate it over here. There isn't a lot of room, especially for the wires going out from the motor that has to hit those 3 points. So this is really not a lot of space. So what I want to do is I've taken some double-sided tape, which is kind of thick, if you can see that, I don't know. And I want to actually put the motor on. I didn't want to run the wires inside this, like a little hole here. And then I want to peel off the other side of the double adhesive tape. I then want to put this on, and then I want to loop the wires back over the actual ESC and then solder them. Now for the rest of the solders, this should be no problem. So I think this is the way I want to do it, and then after, of course, give it some shrink wrap. And I think this actually provides pretty good room for the motor and everything, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. The other thing we're going to be putting on here is a PDB. So let me just very quickly, for those of you that don't know how to build a quad, just line up what the different things actually are. So on any given quad you have a PDB. A PDB is essentially where you hook up your battery over here. And when you hook your battery up over here, it gives access to all these terminals right here. They're plus and minus, plus and minus, plus and minus, plus and minus. This actually just distributes the power from that battery. So in this case, let me remove this. What you're actually going to do, now I'm just going to place it like this. It could be placed sideways, doesn't really matter. I'm going to plug in my battery right here. Then I am going to take an ESC here, where these 3 pins over here are going to be for the motors. The motors have 3 wires. On the other end of it, I have a plus and a minus. Could actually be the other way around. I can't. Here's the plus, here's the minus. And then, very hard to see, but next to this one I'm pointing to is a very small solder area right there, and that is actually the signal cable. So I need the plus and the minus from this one to go on to where it says ESC plus minus, because that's the way the battery gives the juice to the PDB, which then gives it to the ESC, which in turn then provides the motor with juice. The small cable down here, the one that is going to be a small black cable, is then going to be hooked up to this one, and this is the flight controller. So in my case, that would be the, let's see, very small. I think it's going to be this one. I think it's going to be that one there. One of these. It doesn't really matter, because you can look this up in the manual. There's a clear explanation. But this one is going to be seated on top, like so, and then the signal over here is going to go to the correct signal for that correct motor, which is placed in the correct configuration. And that's basically it. Now next to this, you're going to have the VTX, which is this one. The VTX is the video signal. The video signal usually has an antenna on it, something like this. So this video signal right here is going to connect to this camera right here. So basically this little plug I'm holding right here goes into that one, And the white one, let's see here, the white one and the blue one is the power in for this one. So the white and the blue one are going to get the power from the PDB board, which means that the battery powers the PDB, which powers the which powers the motors, which also powers the flight controller, which, so everything is going to be get its power from the PDB, which is why it's called a PDB, a power distribution board. So once all this has been set up, and also of course I'm going to be adding the transmitter, well, the receiver, sorry, not the transmitter, that would be stupid. So once all of this is done, you actually have a fully functioning quad. Now, a lot of people are gonna already have actually asked me, why are you using 24 amp ESCs, KISS ESCs? Because first of all, they're expensive. Second of all, it's too much power. I mean, I can potentially put a 4-cell battery on this thing, which would actually look exactly like this. It's gonna be that big. Some people actually do this. They even mount it underneath. My plan though is to use this one. It's an 800 milliamp 3-cell battery, so 11.1 volt. Now I'm going to be using this one to begin with, and I think it's actually going to be enough. So again comes the question, why use the KISS 24 ESCs? For me it's quite simple. My Alien, which is this one, uses the KISS 24 ESCs. So I figure this one is going to be so small that no matter where I'm going to go, I'm actually going to bring it with me. And this is my main flying quad. So if an ESC dies on this one, and I'm on a vacation for 1.5 weeks and I brought 2 extra ESCs and I suddenly run out, I have all the spare parts in the Mini. At the same time, I know the KISS ESCs and I know the KISS flight controller, so the fact that these run on the exact same hardware, I think is quite interesting, because I really like the KISS flight controller and I really like the KISS ESCs. So it's kind of a mad project, but at the same time, if it really flies well, I would actually be very tempted at putting on a 4-cell battery. Maybe even use the same batteries that I use for my big quads, because why not, and the props I'm going to be using for this, by the way, are going to be these 3.5 Dalprops, 3-bladed. So that's going to be quite interesting, because these suckers are small, but they have quite heavy lift. I wish I could get some HQ props for it, but I can't find any in this size. So yeah, that's basically the thing that I am going to be making now. And then this weekend I'm off to a friend's house, where I will be trying to fly this, and I also will be flying the big one in hopefully some new surroundings and actually just having fun. So for now, I'm just gonna shut down the video, and I'm actually gonna just solder some and just take some images while I'm doing it, and if there's anything remotely interesting, I'll try to film it. But you've probably seen 1,000 builds before, so mainly I just want to show you this when it's done, so that the next time I'm flying with it, you know what I'm flying with as well. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, been doing some soldering, so let's have a look here, if you can see something. So on the PDB now, I've been soldering some of the ESC plus and minuses. Put some solder on here. I don't want to use a plug, I want to use wires from here going up to a plug, so the plug is loose instead of actually standing on there. And then the hard part is actually these. So now this is very, for me at least, tough to do. So we've got the signal wire here on the KISS flight controller for the PWM4 motor, which is this motor here, which is the one I'm doing. So this one is going to the signal over here on the KISS ESC. The other one, the other black one next to it, the one you can see right there, is the ground signal. This is going all the way back to the ground signal. Now the one in the middle would normally be the telemetry signal, but I'm not going to use telemetry on this one anyways, so that's okay. Then I've soldered on the pluses and the minus, and I've done the motor connections here, and as you can see, I've wrapped the motor around here. So all that is left right now is actually to place this. Now this is just a mock-up of what I want to do, because I want to place all of them at once before. This is a bit hard to do with the camera actually. So let's see. I don't think I can do this with one hand anyways, so let me just hold this for a bit. So let's see, the ESC here. Now this black one I'm touching here has to go over to this one here, and the other one. So the red and black actually have to cross each other in order to reach this point. Let me get something to point with. So the red one is going to this one, and the black one is going to this one. But I've measured them out so they can actually do so, and I think there will be enough room for it. So what I want to do right now is I want to make the other ESCs and the other motors, put those on with the loose wires hanging here, and once I'm done I want to just get this out of the way, the FC, and then actually solder all of these on. And by that point everything should be more or less good to go. I then need to solder on the receiver onto this one, and I need to fix the VTX, but a lot of work on a very small quad. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So yeah, we've gotten to this stage now where I've basically put on this. This is a XT30 plug. I might actually exchange this for XT60, like the real size plugs, because it seems a bit flimsy to me, and I could be concerned about the power if I go 4S. Now, this of course is going to get the power from the battery, and this is going to feed the power distribution board. And then you can see the red wire here is going to the ESC, and the black one also, so it's getting its power. Now, these two are actually going to go to this piece here and power the flight board. And I think that's the only thing. The only thing missing now is this one. Now, what this is actually, and yes, that's a mountain of props and stuff. What this is actually a cap. So I've been told that if you run these things, these kind of cheap China VTX transmitters, that you can get worried about the braking of the actual quad when you're in the air. It creates voltage spikes. And if you're using an immersion VTX, apparently it's not an issue. But if you're using the cheaper stuff, which I am with this one, because basically I don't need a big one, so I just wanted to use this one to begin with, I would have to use this one before it, so those spikes doesn't kill it, because that's apparently been a problem. And the way I understand that you use it is that you take the, you look at it, and there's a stripe. That's the stripe, that's the light blue stripe with the 0 in it. So that means that the other side, the long leg, is actually the plus. So I'm going to put the plus here and the minus over here. And what should happen is that any spike that comes will be eaten by this, which is good, because I'm also going to take this one and actually plug the plus here and the plus here and the minus here, so this gets power directly. So it's very hot in here, so I'm just going to continue soldering, and I'll give you an update later. So it's let's see, it's almost 2 in the morning. I've been working on this way too long. It's not that it's been so hard to do, but it's been very, very, very difficult fitting everything in here. So let's have a look. This is so small. So basically, everything is hooked up right now. It should be hooked up correctly, and well, let's try to power it up actually. So we'll just turn on that, and we'll turn on this, and actually we're gonna do this in a different order. So let me try to just put down the camera for a sec, give this some power, and this looks very good. So let's turn on this one, and hang on, and let's actually hook up the USB as well. So first of all, let's connect. Let's see, data output. Actually, for some reason I haven't updated the flight controller yet. So if we do this, everything's running the right way, and the right way. So if we look up here, sounds very responsive, by the way, so that's very good. Oh, that sounds sweet. Okay, that's gonna be good. And here we have the camera working. So yeah, I'm just gonna put the rest of the stuff on, tidy it up, and then I'll film the final result, and hopefully tomorrow I get to fly with it. So yeah, the only big issue I had with this actually is, of course, the size of the ESCs, because they are, I mean, this one isn't that close, but this one is so close that if it comes any closer, the motor won't be able to run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it one more strip to actually hold it in place, and then I think I might give it some tape around it. But the camera really gave me issues, because normally there are going to be 4 pins here like this one, and one is missing, this one. I had to remove that one because of this plug right here is really annoying and it wouldn't fit anyway. I couldn't get the screws into this plate to actually hold it in place, so I gave it one strip, and this is actually, it's completely secure. The camera isn't moving right now. And then I put in this cap thing here, as you can see. So now everything seems to be good. Also, another interesting thing actually, now I haven't weighed this on an actual scale, but these are the antennas that I bought because they were lightweight. I actually think, just by feeling it in my hand, that the TBS Triumph antenna is actually lighter than that one, and to my knowledge this is a much better antenna, so I think that's the go-to one. So there you have it. So far it's a Kiss Quad in very, very small size. So yeah. So it's 2:30 at night and I'm finally done. So here's the end result. Sorry for the mess, because I've just ripped apart stuff trying to find the stuff I need. Yeah. This is actually a fully functional 24 amp KISS ESC KISS flight controller, 130 millimeter quad. That's an 11.1 3-cell battery right now, but it will take and will actually perform very well on a 4-cell. And actually, as you can see, this is the one I normally use, or this is one of the ones, actually one of the bigger 14.8 cells I use. And I could actually fit that easily on top because there's nothing else on the frame. So I don't know if I'm gonna try that actually, but so a couple of solutions I had to make. I had to get the antennas up so they weren't touching anything. So what I did is I made this solution at the bottom, and I don't think it will actually go down. I don't think it's gonna move because of this strip right here, the red one. I stripped them together also so they don't bend out and actually touch the propellers, because as you can see there's very little room around here. I gave each ESC 2 strips, and I might have to tighten some of them, and then I have to go through the whole thing with Loctite because yeah, it is small. So thanks for watching, and I hope I get to fly it tomorrow, and I hope it doesn't just crash and burn, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, got some sleep, and outside today with this thing here. I thought I'd film the maiden flight. I'm not going to put on glasses because we have a relatively small yard, and I don't want to crash it right away. I'm using stock settings for the beta flight. No, not the beta flight. The KISS FC. Sorry, completely stock. But I put the rate and the expo at 1 and 0.75. So I'm just going to place the camera somewhere and actually just fly line of sight, so you have an idea. This is with a 3-cell 11.1 battery, so you can definitely do more, but for this type of flying it's good. Let's see. So as you can see, I completely suck at line of sight flying. I've never been good at it. I don't have any real interest in it. It flies really well. On 11.1 it's just the right amount of power actually. I think this will be interesting with 14.8 volts. I actually think it's going to be really nice to fly with. Now I really want to put the goggles on, but at the same time I just don't know the quad yet, and I actually want to tune it, and I'm going away for the weekend to a friend's house where he has a bit more yard. So I think I'm going to get used to it there and actually just to fly it a bit. So very excited about this. Definitely go build one.